so many people. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I'm looking at you while I'm doing these pieces, but really this is just an empty room, which is my favorite stage. Yeah, so I learned a few things in 2017, one of which is to stop apologizing for having sad poems. Given that, here's your warning for sad poems. The first of which is not sad, and it'll be your only relief for the feature. Tell me again how unclean I am. Tell me how tainted is my touch. Tell me how my God doesn't want me to pray to him just because my uterus is preparing itself for his gift. Tell me that I must be made timid before temples, that I should shrink before shrines, that my bathing must be a ritual. Tell me why my body's sacrificial fluids render me untouchable. Tell me that I am more unsightly than Ganesha's elephant head. Mr. Remover of obstacles, great deity of wisdom, afraid of spoiled prayers that run across his feet like mice. Tell me that I am more inhuman than Hanuman's monkey mouth, that my angry PMS eclipses the wrath of Shiva's third eye. My God is so self-righteous, thinking that my blood makes me impure, makes me unholy, the same blood he drinks from when he's thirsty for followers, looking for a dry staple, the heat of a warm belly. You see, when my sisters bleed in secret and stealth, when they huddle in cold cowsheds atop Hindu mountains, shoving mud between their legs and straw beneath their clothes, my God reveals himself to be a coward. He does not realize that when I bleed, his future bleeds with me. You see, my blood forges baby's bones, is the sweat on the brow of Mother Earth. My blood is the color of potential dreamers waiting to be birthed. My blood can only be God-given. Man forsaken, it needs no distance to remain divine. I am evidence that God tried to punish us, to deny us, to discharge us from heaven. God so feared women that he tried to wound us. But our fleeing blood makes us stronger. Our rivers red make us resilient. We are wise women, tempered by our trials. You see, my body knows loss, knows restoration, knows regeneration. It is a monthly revolution, and I am an activist leading a dripping red rebellion. Don't let me touch you now. You might catch being a woman. I mean, if you're lucky, you too will find pain, fight fire inside yourself, and emerge 3,000 days later more beautiful than before. So uncork my body like a fine wine. Offer me no unclean separation. Heed this battle cry of a new feminist generation. How the hell do we still fear menstruation? Thank you. So yes, that is the period poem. I did a show in Glasgow and I said, I don't have any funny poems except maybe the period poem, which I'm not doing tonight. And then a whole crowd, which was like eccentric poor art students, was like, do the period poem. And they chanted and it was very alarming. So I'm really glad you're not the chanting type. Stop. Never do that again. That is Robbie, my #1 fan, because at one point I only had one fan and it was Robbie. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing a residency here at the Nook. The thing I'm doing right now is called Banter. Good artists will get better at it over time. And from March to May, there's going to be poetry workshops, there's going to be a curated showcase at the end, and there's going to be office hours available as well. So I will be living in the Nook for a while. They're going to make a little flat above the top, and I will be there all the time. And you can come and share your poetry with me. You can come have coffee with me. You can tell me your stories. You can share your stories. We can work on them together. You can also take the workshops, which is probably free of charge, but we're working that out. And there's going to be 3 series. Each will be 4 weeks long. So there will be one in March, one in April, and one in May. And right now I'm going to be probably offering them 2 times a week. So it's the first spoken word residency in Edmonton. It is made for spoken word. There's going to be some guest poets coming in to teach some of the workshops as well. So that's very exciting. Big round of applause for the Nook for hosting me. It's going to be very exciting. This poem is called Wednesday. On another Wednesday, Ed finds me on the bathroom floor. Carving my body into the shape of an apology, he laughs, says that I am only lovable when defeated, commends the way my insides have collapsed on themselves. A 10-pound difference. I love food more than a girl my size should admit. Can count the numbers on a box and equate them to happiness, love, the way starving victory tastes so similar to the binge of defeat. Ed says good girls leave food on their plate. So I swallow back my upbringing, let him watch as I twist my fork into a bow, pushing it towards him like gift. He smiles, and my stomach contracts beneath the table, a 5-pound difference. Ed is a Renaissance man. He follows me to art galleries and poetry slams. He is my +1 to every wedding. Says he misses how I used to dance, longs for the ways my ankles bled when I broke the mirrors that dared to show him a future without me. Ed says he only fucks with white girls. That doesn't stop me from letting him in at 2 a.m. to trace a 200-pound chalk outline on my bed. Girls of the flesh are never taught to fear guys like Ed. Never question the way he looks at them with his sticky fingers and gluttonous hands grappling with throats. Girls of the flesh have long since been taught that their value lies in carcass. Dear Ed, eating was not the disorder I wanted when I met you, so do not mistake this for a love poem. This is your send-off. Just because it fits into my mouth does not mean I want to swallow it. Your words will not be the butcher knives that split the heavy from my bones. Love cannot be balanced on the needles of a scale, no matter how unsteady I walk. Dear Ed, I did it. I am still here. My mother has spent too many Saturdays bent over the heat of an open flame for you to satisfy my cravings for defeat. You will not use my bones to pick out the pieces of me caught between your teeth. I will not be corralled, cut down to a size that fits more easily in the palms of your hands. I did it. I am still here. Too many of my sisters have raised themselves sick, trying to be hung like pennant on this fortress that you call beautiful. I love myself more than a girl my size should admit. And from now on, you will be the only one that goes hungry. Fun story about that poem. The first time I performed it, I forgot the middle, and I was at Indie Nationals, and I just freestyled. And then I remembered the ending. Yeah, Kaz Mega style, freestyle. And no one knew, and I did average.
No, they never know.
They never, Kaz we know. Yeah, Kaz Mega actually has seen me perform in 5 provinces and 5 cities, which is really fun. So Robbie, he's like my #1 fan. Showdown. Okay. This piece, I don't think any of my family is here, so that's great. Whatever. Yeah, of course, Ahmed. This piece is called God. To the men of God who look into the mirror and see only a reflection of the divine, to the men of God who treat trust like birthright, like given to my grandfather, who used his faith as an excuse to touch my body, to the young girl still trapped beneath knuckle and bone. Is God a man? Does he wear the skin of those you love? Does he blind them? Does he deafen them to your voice? Do I hold myself down for him? Does he want me on my knees? Does God know how to say please without asking? Does he say yes the way I say yes without asking? Is God a man? When he crawls into my nighttime, when he waits for me to fall asleep, when the shadows of his touch soak into my skin like grease, like calf butter candle wax, am I his temple yet? Was my silence an act of worship? Did my body slaughter itself? Did my blood hit the right stones? Did he drink from me? Was he still thirsty after? Does it look like I poured myself into his hands, cupped with desperation and hunger, and I, a slim-necked bottle on the cusp of becoming wine? Has your God never treated you like sun? Like starlight branded your name into his palms as he tried to put you out? Has your God never followed you home? Painted promises on your skin, hung them around your neck like marigold, like garland smelling as sweet as the flowers he plants for you, smelling like the way you asked for it? Has God never told you that you asked for it? Is God a man? Has he sought salvation between your thighs? As his hands climb heaven up the rungs of your spine, are you his pathway to being blessed? Was my compliance enough sacrifice? Was I, young girl, vessel enough to anchor his hands, leech to my skin, secure them from seeking purchase on someone else's shoreline? Was I a harbor in his holy waters? Was he merely a fleeting shipwreck? Will I one day be resurrected as destination instead of journey? Was my body a dike? Did I save them? Did I save them? Did I save them? Did I save them? All the other ships he tried to sink, did I save them? Is God a man, so willing to spill himself at my birth, so lost that he mistakes my bed for an altar, and I, Holy Spirit, that he can't help but touch? Thank you. I'm going to trigger warning the next piece. I wrote it, what time is it now? It's like 8:30. I wrote this at 4:30 today. It took about 20 minutes. And this is a poem for the people we've lost. I cannot fathom a hunger that isn't the aftertaste of the last time we met. I guess the angels have sharpened their teeth since then. I wonder if they enjoyed the taste of your flesh. I wonder if they fell asleep with your scent in their mouths. I wonder if they are satiated now. I feel you everywhere that you are not, which is to say that I feel you everywhere, carving yourself into my throat like every word that isn't your name passes by you and has to say goodbye over and over again. I feel you in the parts of me finally worth giving away, which is to say that I feel you in my polluted core, in my red-brown, in the blood hot that can still save someone that isn't you. And which of the 5 stages is it that you're in now? Maybe there is still time for us to go there together, even though you were always better at movement. And what a joke these angels played on us. What a joke that we fed them with our wrists and still they came for you. What a joke that the taste of you lingers in their eyes, and I see them now. I see the way they hold your name on their tongues, and every time I hear them call for me, I am picturing for us the most extravagant reunion, one where I feel you everywhere that isn't a memory, and only the postman sees me cry 3 days in a row, as if they aren't all the same period of wakefulness that gnaws at my bones, as if the angels aren't still using me to sharpen their teeth, as if this world will not try to take even the parts of you left inside of me, because that is what happened after all. The ground wanted to be loved so badly that you couldn't say no. You with your big heart that is bleeding everywhere that you are not, which is to say that I see love even in the way you embraced the ground. I see love even in the way you said goodbye the last time, which is to say that you didn't say goodbye at all. And what a joke that on this earth it is still only the angels who got what they wanted. What a joke that they want none of my broken blood now that you're gone. What a joke that you left and didn't take the sun with you. I mean the audacity to leave me here with only the sound of your voice when you get to see me every day now. What a joke that I know you love me still, because I feel you everywhere that you are not, which is to say that I feel you everywhere, in all the places in me that you never called home, in all the places in me that I am going to make beautiful in your name, so that one day when I am old enough to miss you still, the angels will come to me gently and lead me to where you wait, ready to spill a lifetime of adventures that we are still having together, which is to say that you were my favorite adventure. This is the last piece I'm going to do tonight. You can still buy my book online at nishapatel.ca if you would like. We are on our second print run.
How much?
It's $10 with shipping.
Only $10!
With shipping. So I did this piece on the final stage at Nationals this year in October. I wrote it about 4 days before we performed it. So the first time I ever performed it out loud was on the final stage. That was fun. Since then, it has toured Europe and is not the crowd favorite, but I'm going to do it anyway. I am so eloquent, which is to say that even when my skin betrays me, I can still fool the hunter into thinking that I am some sort of wildflower, the kind that he will pick for the girl that he will actually marry, and I will stay in my place, grateful that he spared me, that I get to dream a dream bigger than my mother's minimum wage, as if she didn't come here with a university degree stained with my grandfather's blood, but still, my melanin blends so easily with the flora, the background benign, so long as I can speak my way out of trouble and into the beds of white men who will turn the lights off. And sometimes I open my mouth, and my mother's name uses my tongue to hang itself. So I swallow down the twitch and flinch of her body, the fight that chose to leave homeland and freeze itself in a country that does not recognize the curve of her, the twisted muscle that weighs down syllables, settling in my stomach near the semen, and the plain chicken breast. All the things that I have been told are good for me, and I have long since accepted a diet that lessens me in the eyes of my mother, the name that I run away from for fear that I won't be considered one of the good brown bodies anymore. As if there isn't a shade that doesn't have to stuff itself into the blank white of a ballot box every 4 years. As if there aren't politicians thirsty for my ethnicity, but not my capacity for love. As if this tongue that traces blood and salt along the necks of white boys who call me beautiful isn't a double-edged sword. As if I didn't cut out my mother tongue to make room for white cock. As if the light in my father's eyes doesn't go out every time I share a poem he doesn't understand. As if he didn't leave his heart somewhere near the body of his mother that burned across an ocean for him to come home. And I get it. I get that it is impressive to master the language that once oppressed you, to march the salt back into the water as if your country was never stolen from you, but there is only so much blood that I can swallow before I sicken, allowing you to feast on the gristle of my heritage every time you say that I am so eloquent. Thank you.
Nisha Patel. You can find that book on nishapatel.ca. Also, don't forget about the residency that's going to happen. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break. I say 3 minutes because we're kind of overdone. I'm sorry about that. I will take responsibility because I'm at the helm here. But we are still going to get you out on time. So that means how many people here actually need to go outside for their regular smoke things? How many people here just chilling in here, hanging out? If you need a break, raise your hand. Just like a little breather. If you want to, you know what? We're gonna take a quick 3-minute. Take a breather, get to know somebody, enjoy each other. We will be back in exactly 3 minutes. The next 2 rounds are gonna go faster than you can imagine.